Sumerian King List, the rulers who lived for thousands of years. According to the oldest historical record on Earth, some kings ruled for thousands of years, and archaeologists still don't know why this document exists at all. In ancient Mesopotamia, long before pyramids or empires, the Sumerians created what historians call the first civilization. They invented writing, law, astronomy, and then they wrote something else, a single document that lists every king who ever ruled them from the beginning of time to a known historical era. It's called the Sumerian King List, and buried inside it is a claim that defies biology, logic, and history itself. Some of these kings ruled for 28,800 years, others for 36,000 years. Not legends, not gods, kings. The Sumerian King List isn't mythology. It exists on multiple clay tablets discovered across Iraq, dating back to around 2100 BCE. The most famous version, the Weld Blundell Prism, is housed in the Ashmolean Museum in Oxford. What makes this document unsettling is not just what it claims, but how it's written. It presents impossible reign lengths with the same tone, structure, and authority as later kings whose reigns are archaeologically verified. No warning, no explanation, no separation, just history flowing seamlessly from the impossible to the provable. The list begins with a sentence that sets the tone for everything that follows. When kingship descended from heaven, kingship was in Eridu. According to the text, rulership itself did not evolve, it was given, and the first kings were not ordinary men. The list describes 8 kings who ruled before a great flood. Their combined reign, 241,200 years. One ruler, Alulim, is said to have reigned for 28,800 years. Another, Enmebaragesi, ruled for 43,200 years. These numbers were written using standard Sumerian mathematics, not symbolic poetry, which raises a disturbing question. If these reigns weren't literal, why record them like accounting data? After listing the pre-flood kings, the text says simply, "Then the flood swept over, and everything changes." Reign lengths suddenly shrink from tens of thousands of years to hundreds, then decades. This mirrors flood myths found later in the Epic of Gilgamesh, the Bible, and other Near Eastern traditions. But unlike myths, the king list continues into real history. Names like Gilgamesh, Enmebaragesi, and Sargon of Akkad appear later in the list. These kings are independently confirmed by inscriptions, ruins, trade records, and other civilizations' texts. The same document that claims impossible lifespans accurately records real rulers. Historians are left with a problem. If part of it is verifiably true, what are we supposed to do with the rest? Mainstream scholars offer several explanations. Some argue the long reigns are symbolic, representing dynasties, not individuals. Others suggest ancient calendar systems were misunderstood. But there's an issue. The Sumerians used multiple calendar systems, and the numbers still don't reconcile cleanly. And more importantly, the text never hints that these numbers are symbolic. It treats them as literal reigns. The king list was likely political. It legitimized rulers by claiming kingship was divinely granted and continuous. But this raises another question. Why include impossible kings at all? If the goal was propaganda, why root it in numbers that future generations would question, unless the authors believed them? The pre-flood kings are described as ruling advanced cities like Eridu, Bad Tibira, and Sippar. Archaeological layers show these cities existed, but earlier phases remain poorly understood. No evidence of extreme longevity exists, but absence of evidence is not evidence of absence, especially when floods destroy records. Across cultures worldwide, ancient rulers are often described as living far longer than modern humans. Sumer, Egypt, China, the Bible. Over time, lifespans shrink, civilizations reset, knowledge fragments. The Sumerian King List doesn't explain this pattern, it simply records it. The list was copied and preserved for centuries. Scribes didn't edit it, didn't correct it, didn't remove the impossible parts. They passed it down intact, which suggests the question wasn't whether it was true, but what it meant. If the Sumerian King List is symbolic, why present myth and history without distinction? If it's literal, what kind of world allows rulers to reign for millennia? And if it's propaganda, why preserve it so carefully across generations who knew better? Because this document doesn't just record kings, it records a memory of a time before history was reset, before lifespans shortened, before something ended. And the list never explains what that something was. It simply continues, as if we're not supposed to ask.
This is the Chrono-Mist secret. Secrets buried in time. Like the video, subscribe for the truth.